This is a topic I told myself I would never tell anybody. But in order to help other people, you have to be honest, you have to be open because your experience can either change something or at least help somebody. So I'm going to be very open and very honest about this. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be about a more serious topic. Today I will be telling you why I quit my very first nursing job. Many of you may or may not know, before I became an RN, I was an LPN. During LPN school, I did very well. Never had to repeat a class. I was the youngest in my class and I was elected as the class president. A lot of the concepts came very easy to me. And I went ahead and got my LPN, went on to BSN school. I did very well there. Nursing school is one of the most difficult things that anybody can go through. And when you survive it, kudos to you. Give yourself a pat on the back. Before I even graduated or took the NCLEX, I was offered a nursing position. And I gladly took the position. So my very first day on my unit, I was on time, I was excited, this is what I've been waiting for, this is my first hospital job. I was so excited. When I went that morning, I remember I got there at least 30 minutes early. I went to the unit because I wanted to find my way around. I wanted to know where the locker room was so I can put my stuff away. When I asked the unit clerk, I stood there for about 5 minutes and she was talking to another person. I stood there and waited patiently just to ask her, can you please point me to where the locker room is so I can put my stuff away? She completely ignored me. I stood there for a while and then when she finally decided to talk to me, she pointed at the locker room and said, there it is. So I went there. I didn't even have a code. I had to ask somebody else to get into the room. And when I came out, I sat at the nurse's station. I remember it was a Monday. They were all talking about their weekends and laughing with each other. I didn't know who anybody was. I didn't know who the charge nurse was, who my preceptor was. I knew her name, but I didn't know her personally, so I couldn't just walk up to someone. So I'm sitting there patiently, and I was completely ignored. And then my preceptor walks in, and the charge nurse tells her, hey, you have a preceptee. And she goes, oh, yay for me. When I tell you, my heart just, I felt like I was hit by a bus. Just the feeling, just the vibe of everything completely changed. So I went up to her, I introduced myself. I said, hi, my name is Mercy. I'm supposed to be precepting with you today. And she says, okay. Okay, so I started to follow her around. She didn't try to introduce herself to me, didn't even try to tell me what the day was going to be like. I didn't know anything. She refused to talk to me. I would ask her questions and she would just blow my questions off. She pretended like I wasn't there. She was getting report from other nurses. She wouldn't introduce me. The other nurses wouldn't talk to me. I kept thinking to myself, maybe it's all in my head. Maybe it's because I'm nervous. Maybe it's because I'm new. I would ask my preceptor simple questions and she'll just say things like, you just got out of nursing school. How come you don't know that? Or she'll say things like, you should know this. You're going to be on your own in a few months, so you should know this. You're going to be taking care of patients. You're not going to have people there to ask questions, so you should know this. Or she'll just completely pretend like she didn't hear my questions. And that in itself just made me so scared to even ask her anything. I felt like I was dumb. I felt stupid. I felt like I didn't belong there. Nobody wanted to talk to me. Nobody even wanted to be nice to me. I had to learn everything on my own. This behavior went on for days. I used to cry every single morning. I would go to work early, sit in my car and cry. I would call my mom and say, I don't think nursing is for me. This is horrible. If this is what nursing feels like, I don't want to be a nurse. And she would just encourage me. And this was a very stressful time for me because out of a lot of my friends and family, I am the only nurse. I don't have a mom as a nurse. I don't have an auntie or uncle. I was the only one who decided I'm going to be a nurse. So everything about nursing, I didn't have anybody to call to get nursing advice from. I had my friends and family to get human advice from or regular advice, but none of them really knew what I was talking about. Most times I would keep these things to myself and just cry and cry and cry. I've never cried so much in my life, but I just kept pushing myself and pushing myself. I went through this for about a month and a half. I would cry on my way to work, I would cry on my way home, and when I had a few days off, I would be so happy and I was myself again. And then the day before I went to work, I would be so sad. I would go to bed early and just lay there thinking about how my day was going to be tomorrow and praying to God to change everything for me. And I started telling myself, maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I'm not supposed to be a nurse. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. I don't belong here. I don't know anything. Nursing is all about the culture. If a certain culture is created on a certain unit, everybody on that unit tends to go with that. And the culture that was built on that unit was very negative and very unwelcoming to new people. And unfortunately for me, I had to experience that. I couldn't take it anymore. I went to my manager and told them, thank you for the opportunity, but I have to quit. And I left my nursing job. After I quit my job, I felt like I had failed myself and failed my family, and I was so embarrassed to even tell anyone. I told myself I'm completely done with nursing. I don't want to be a nurse. I told my family I'm going to start doing something else. I still had this burning desire in me that you are a nurse. You were born to be a nurse. So I went ahead and started applying for jobs. Within a week, I got a phone call. And I was still nervous. I went for my interview, I did well, they called me back and offered me the position. When I started my new job, in the back of my mind, I was still very nervous. I was still afraid to ask questions. But lucky for me, things have changed for the better. I work with awesome, wonderful people who are willing to help, answer my questions, support me. The managers are awesome. My co-workers are awesome. I'm just happy that things have changed for the better. The reason I decided to share this story is because I know I'm not the only one out there who is dealing with this or has dealt with this. So if any of you out there are going through things like this or even something similar, I want to let you know that you can do this. Please rest assured that you will be fine. As a new nurse, you're not going to know everything. You're not stupid. You're not inadequate. Just like those nurses took the state boards and passed, you did the same thing. The only thing they have is experience, and with time, you will get there. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I hope the video was helpful to someone out there, and if it was, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. I look forward to seeing you guys in my next one. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Bye!